Hi, I'm the part-time drummer. In this video I want to talk about what I think is great about electronic drums. I know there's some misconceptions and myths about electronic drums out there. I want to address those first, but then later on I want to show you some of the new features of modern electronic drums. The first myth about electric drums that I want to cover is the one about it damages your wrists and stuff, sort of tendinitis and hard to play on and stuff like that. Back in the 80s, Simmons came out with a range of electronic drums that were, at the time, extremely popular. The 80s is dotted with examples of the Simmons kits appearing in many, many popular songs. The pads themselves had a hard finish, I guess you'd call it. Some likened it to a tabletop. Modern electronic drums have mesh heads. It feels fantastic to play on. Doesn't hurt your wrists. Rubber cymbals feel fun to play on. They're easy to play on than metal cymbals, so there's no problem there either. So there's no damage to your wrist playing an electronic drum kit. The other myth that I hear is that electronic drums don't feel as good to play as acoustic drums, that acoustic drums feel somehow better to play on. The pads are beautiful to play on. I played an acoustic kit for nearly 50 years, and playing these pads now, these pads feel better than an acoustic kit to play on. My main module is a two-box drum at 3 module. It's a fantastic module. The sounds out of it are incredible. Another good thing about the two-box system is that it doesn't take any time to load a kit. When you change kits, it's instant, it's done. By the time I change kits and pick up my sticks to count the song in, it's already loaded. Another great thing about the two-box system is that you can take one of your old great cymbals or drums or whatever you like, and you can do multiple samples of it, put it in the two-box software, and it will turn it into an instrument that you can play on the kit. I've done that with a 21-inch Zildjian K Dark Ride that I've had since the 80s, and here's a quick demo of that. I was thrilled to be able to use this cymbal on my kit. That said, there are a bunch of good modules out there at the moment. If you play one of these other modules, can you let us know in the comments what's great about your module? This is not my module's better than your module time. You know, these are all great modules and they can all make great sounds. The other piece of equipment I have is the Elisa Strike Multipad. It's got 9 pads of its own, but it also has inputs on the back for 5 more pads. I've got all of those. I'm using all of those inputs. 4 of them are on that side, and on this side, the fifth input, I've got this cymbal, that cowbell, and a pad down the bottom, a bass drum pedal down there, all sharing the same input. So depending on what sound is there, I might have a bass drum sound there, I might have a cowbell sound there, I might have a hi-hat sound there. They're all making the same sound, but it's a different play surface for the sound that's there. So that comes in very handy, and it's an incredibly powerful machine. A perfect complement to my electronic kit or to an acoustic kit. If you've got nothing else, if you have an acoustic kit and you have nothing else, get a Strike Multipad. If you think buying a module outright is too expensive for you, you can also buy some of the fabulous software that's around, like Dkit Drums or Superior Drummer or one of those. Put that on a laptop, and from your module you send the signal out of the USB to the laptop and play the sounds from the software. For that you need in this picture you can see that there's a Focusrite USB interface. That's a relatively inexpensive way, apart from the cost of the software and the laptop if you've got one, then great. That's a relatively inexpensive way to get into electronic drums. Speaking of software, laztark.com, which I'll put a link in the description, he's got software called SDSE, which runs with Reaper, and then you load your drum software VST into Reaper and pick a kit. When you've got the kit the way you like it, you press the export button on SDSE and pick which module you're using, like in my case 2-box, but Pearl Mimic is there, and the Elisa Strike and some other ones. You pick the module you want, then hit the export button, and it samples all of the sounds in that drum kit and saves them as files that you can use in your module. I've got several kits in mind from some of my software that I've used, and they sound incredible. It takes every single, like say the bass drum, and it does soft hits all the way up to hard hits, then saves that as a bass drum instrument file. So that's incredible software. It's called SDSE. So check that out if you've got one of these modules. What I want to show you is that if you rock up to a gig with an acoustic kit and you play a bunch of different covers, how that acoustic kit will not sound like any of the songs that you're playing. For example, when you think about it, keyboard players for decades now have had to find the right sound for the right song with synthesizers and such like that. You don't want to be this guy who turns up to play this song with the wrong piano sound. Furthermore, you wouldn't want to be this bass player who didn't know that there was distortion in the bass on this song. Or what guitarist would turn up and play this classic with this tone on his guitar? Well, the same should be for drums. If you're playing a Bon Jovi song, and you're playing a Garth Brooks song, and you're playing a hip-hop song that has finger clicks on the snare, you can't do all of that on a snare drum, on an acoustic snare drum. You need those different sounds. You need thicker snares. You do an AC/DC song, or some other band. You do a funk song, and you need a tight, snappy snare drum sound. How can you do that with with an acoustic snare drum? So that's where I think electronic drums really shine. They allow you to have different sounds for different songs. As I'll show you in these examples now, these first few examples, if you listen to the original song, first I play it with the acoustic kit, and then I play it with the sounds that I came up with for the songs. I don't have an acoustic kit, so today the acoustic kit will be played by the part of a very nice sounding sample I have of a kit in my module. Now here's a quick demo of it.
Young girl, did you have a rag doll?
This next couple of songs are two songs that I'll put it out there and say these songs are impossible to play on an acoustic kit. In some of these cases, I sampled the original sounds off the records and put them into the Strike multipad. But check these two out. They really show the power of electronic drums. Well, that just about wraps it up for my first talking video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned something about electronic drums. Until next time, drum on, and I'll catch you later. Thanks. Hi, I'm the part-time drummer. You might remember me from such videos as Drumsticks, Do They Matter? Old skins are better than new skins. Tempo is not important.